So there's a really juicy exchange happening right now at Breitbart over this Buffalo grocery store shooting. The suspect's name, by the way, going to CNN first, because CNN, good old CNN, has obtained the manifesto in which our suspect, let me look at the top of my computer screen here, doing this on the fly, by the way. Happy Sunday night, Cultural Confederacy here, pipe and coffee in hand. Smoking some Sail Yellow. What we know about Buffalo supermarket shooting suspect Peyton Gendron, Gendron. Gendron. All you know is this guy's a real beaut. Hi, my name's Peyton. So according to CNN, just reading you some of the sub-headlines here, he was wearing tactical gear. He illegally purchased his gun in New York. He allegedly live-streamed the event on Twitch, which Twitch pulled down the live stream within a few minutes. And a purported manifesto talks about, quote-unquote, dwindling size of white population. So he was a white supremacist. But two of the victims, two of the suspects, you kind of wonder, were there two shooters possibly involved with this? Because I'm always scratching my head about this aspect of these mass shootings. One person goes in and shoots up a grocery store or a mall, and nobody has a weapon to stop him. You ever notice that? Should I also throw in that this is all happening on the heels, in the middle of this disinformation czar, all these statues coming down, these people marching for abortion rights? Again, not the most attractive people in the world. I'm just saying, just an observation. Goes on to say here, he made a quote-unquote generalized threat at high school in 2021. He will likely face more charges. Well, I should hope so. Thank you, CNN. But CNN, they obtained the manifesto. Let me go to that paragraph real quick. Let's see where it is. The manifesto independently obtained by CNN shortly after the attack, coincidence? And before authorities released the suspect's name, is allegedly written by a person claiming to be Peyton gender-confused Peyton, confessing to the attack. The manifesto's author says he bought ammo for some time, but didn't get serious about planning the attack until January. Oh, isn't that interesting? What happened a year ago in January? Oh, January 6th. Wait a minute, we're in 2020? Yeah, okay, I'm losing track of time here, folks. The author also goes on about his perception. I'm telling you, we're doing this on the fly again. The author also goes on about his perceptions of the dwindling size of the white population and claims of ethnic and cultural replacement of whites. A portion of the document is written in question and answer form. The manifesto's author attributes the internet for most of his beliefs and describes himself as a fascist, a white supremacist, and an anti-Semite. Ooh, 3 in 1. Like a deity. Hi, my name's Peyton Grendon, gender-confused Peyton, and I bow to the statues of Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, to Nathan Bedford Forrest, the founder of the KKK. Nathan Bedford Forrest did not found the KKK, by the way. He was chosen as their grand wizard. Just thought I'd clear that up. But here is this juicy exchange at Breitbart. So I'm just going to read you the comments. Keep in mind, this is not coming from me. Don't kill the messenger here. So somebody writes, firearm homicide rate per 100,000. And they list all these different countries. U.S., white, 1.7. Czech Republic, 1.7. Canada, 1.8. France, 2.6. Austria, 2.8. Finland, 3.3. U.S. Hispanic 6.4, and U.S. Black 19.8. The USA has a problem for sure, but it's not quote-unquote guns. Somebody else writes, blacks would probably get a more favorable outcome if we just judge them by the color of their skin and not the content of their character. Again, I'm reading to you the comments here at Breitbart. Oh, it gets juicy, folks. Really, really juicy. The federal government has already targeted white farmers in the USA. The plan is like Zimbabwe and South Africa. White Americans are being exterminated. Somebody else chimes in, what does it matter if whites are no longer the majority? It sounds like you don't like the idea of being a minority in this country. Well, I'm a minority here on YouTube. I got a small channel. I mean, just go look at the views on my videos. Can I claim minority status? They go on to ask, I wonder why that is. Does it have anything to do with how you treat minorities in this country? Are you afraid someone might treat you poorly? Somebody has a long response here, so I'm just going to read a part of it. No, however, I'm not writing for this, I'm not writing this on my Guatemala-made phone now, am I? I mean, all that high tech coming from Africa, Central America, etc. is just so impressive, right? My point is simple. We aren't getting scientists, engineers from these countries. We're getting criminals, uneducated. Do we need another bodega? If you import low class that caused all the problems from said country to a new country, don't make them assimilate because they don't want to, and they stick to forming gangs from their homeland that mostly victimize their own people, then yeah, I got a problem with that. And so on and so on. I'm not the racist, but I said not one word about any race. But you sure left a pile of racist emesis. You picked a largely white country and a brown country. Why is that? It almost sounds like it should be about skin tone. And we do get plenty of H-1B visa recipients, but do you still have a problem with that? Would it be okay with you if these immigrants came from India or China? Someone chimes in, you sure did, the whites, exclamation point. Well, point a bit. What did I say about whites? Show me what I said that was negative or positive about whites. You don't find it because I said nothing about whites. You said, why does it matter if whites are the minority? If you said that in Africa about blacks, would that make you racist? You're not making any sense. What does the continent of Africa have to do with whites becoming a minority in this country on an entirely different continent? LOL, what? How do you not understand that comparison? What does a different continent have to do with this country? Whites will be the minority in this country. This is a fact. You are not making a comparison. You are making 0 sense. And on it goes. So they talk about immigration here. Let's see. But this is getting good. This is getting good. So this tells you where people are in the country right now. All over this shooting. And keep in mind, this is an isolated incident with a loner who has these far out ideas about the world. You can't be judging an entire race by one person who has extreme views. That isn't fair to that race. Whoever it is. Or whatever race it is. Someone goes on to say, there is no difference. If someone lands from the comes in from the Ukraine at JFK, it is no different than someone coming in to the border in Texas. That's where you don't comprehend. Again, accepting war refugees from Ukraine is legal. Illegal aliens coming across the border is, wait for it, illegal. You're clearly a racist. You refuse facts over skin color. How am I a racist? And what does a random site you find on the internet have to do with anything? Where do you think your phone was made? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't anywhere in the U.S. Anything else here? And it just goes on and on and on. Oh, my false narrative. False narrative. Let's see what it says here. The minorities are treated so poorly in America that they chose to stay, and others are risking life and limb to get into America. Your false narratives don't stand up for 1 second. My false narrative, were you not the one that claimed that it would make this a third world country if whites became the minority? Does that sound like you think minorities are treated well? How do we treat minorities poorly? Republicans fought and died for the rights of all minorities in this country, while white Democrats formed the KKK and did everything in their power to keep minorities down. Well, you did have some Republican KKK members back in the day when the KKK was founded. So you had loyalists, people in the North who were loyal to the Confederacy. You had some Confederates that were loyal to the North. It was split. So it wasn't necessarily along party lines. And I got to throw this in here. I think it was William Lloyd Garrison who was calling for secession if the South didn't give up slavery. He was a Northerner. He was calling for secession in the North if the South was not going to give up slavery. But that's for another time, another video. Okay, and they talk about the Emancipation Proclamation. We're getting in the weeds here. Yes, I am racist towards myself. Republicans are not a race, so I am not sure how I could be racial against or racist against Republicans. Which party has been leading the charge to remove Confederate statues, and which party raises a stink about it? Open a history book. You might learn a thing or two. The Emancipation Proclamation wasn't signed until 2 years into the Civil War. It wasn't Southern slave owners versus Union heroes. Both sides owned slaves, and almost every slave owner was a Democrat. All Southern Democrats in Congress remained Democrats, including those who started the KKK, except for 2. Of course, Democrats would want to knock down statues of slave owners. Democrats, that's in parentheses. Erasing history because you don't like it is not how you deal with past issues. I agree with that. Quote, those who do not know their history are doomed to repeat it. I'm sure you don't know who said that quote. If you do not have this basic knowledge, then you do not have the education to continue this debate. Sorry, I'm reading small print here, and my eyes are tired. But I'm here doing the video for you guys, because I love doing these videos, as you know. So Strom Thurmond was never a Republican, and how about the governor of Alabama? Is Grandma a Democrat, or how about Reagan? You do not have the education to continue this discussion because you seem ignorant of the Southern strategy. Well, the real issue in those days was the expansion westward and who was being favored over whom, because the North and Lincoln himself favored industrialization, and they were afraid that if you had these slave owners, plantation owners, farmers moving out, let's say yeoman farmers moving out west, well, then that would dominate the voting bloc in that area. So it was really a power struggle. But the South at the time felt like that they were given unequal treatment. They weren't allowed to do what the North was doing. And the North was just, in fact, the South was against the illegal slave trade. Believe it or not. I know it sounds odd, but they were the ones to stand up against this illegal slave trade that was still going on well up to the eve of the Civil War, and in some ways during the Civil War. But I thought I'd share these comments with you at Breitbart. I mean, what more am I going to add about what's going on in Buffalo, New York? It's sad to see the shooting, but of course, there's always questions about this. How could somebody get away with this? Why wasn't somebody there with a weapon to stop this perp from doing what he did? And, you know, sometimes people just do things because they're bad people. But if he had some type of manifesto with him that talked about the dwindling white population, okay, I'll give you that. But I thought I'd share these comments with you tonight. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, a one-take video. You like it, you hate it, let me know in the comment section below. And I will catch you next time. Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this great country, and y'all have a great week.